Hey, we are back with another Seeds of Success. I am Orly, and I am here with the awesome Dottie. Dottie, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Orly?
I am good. I was a little nervous though because this title that you came up with, this one was Dottie's, and it says making the grade. So I'm like, oh no, grades? Are we gonna test or something? Because I'm not a good tester. So, but then I kind of read the description here, and I'm excited to talk about it because it doesn't really have to do with me being graded on anything.
Well, you never know. There might be a test after this, Orly.
Uh-oh.
So don't get too comfortable there. I'm just saying. No, this is, it's we are approaching back to school time. It seems like, you just get started with summer and the next thing you know, you blink and the kids are getting ready to go back to school. So we're kind of approaching that time and there's so much opportunity for back to school. And I just felt like this was a great opportunity for us to share with our listeners some of the things that you can do uh, to really capitalize on back to school and help those parents too, right? Because
Yeah.
parents are they're struggling to they want to do those last few things where they can have fun with the kids. They're doing back to school shopping. Teachers are getting ready for school. So this is just such a crazy time period. And there's a lot of things that we can do in this industry to help and to offer opportunities to our parents, to our teachers, to our schools. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, taking some of the burden off, just some of the supplies you have to buy, and I know there's, we'll get into it, but I know there's like backpack drives, for instance, but that stuff helps. I know sometimes some people might think right away, less fortunate, but not even just less fortunate. It gets expensive for anybody when these supplies they add up, and nowadays with everything just getting more expensive, and nowadays some students will even on their list they'll be like Clorox wipes because they do need you to help the teachers. But like we were just saying, like if someone's already struggling a little bit to buy the supplies themselves, it's like, hey, I can barely afford to buy the supplies myself, let alone help the teacher buy their supplies. Which, I mean, that's a whole other story. Teachers usually buy out of their own pocket also. So yeah, anything can help. There's so many different opportunities to be able to help students, parents, and teachers, and just schools overall.
Yeah, and as you said, purchasing school supplies has become, a huge expense, especially for families that have multiple children. I mean, it's a major expense.
Yes.
And when you, as a center, can do something to help, and as you said, it doesn't even have to be obviously. We all want to be able to help those that are less fortunate. There's
Yes.
nothing better than to be able to. I remember they used to share, at church and stuff, when you can share a 64 thing of crayons with a child that's underprivileged, that box of crayons is worth so much because they never have had, they've always had to, have smaller boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
So you never really realize the impact that you can have when you're able to help. But to have like a drive in your center, maybe you just have a container where you allow a drop off, or maybe
Yeah.
you have it to where they get a bonus if they bring in, they get 15 minutes of extra time on their lane if they bring
Yeah.
in a backpack or a specific supply. Maybe each day of the week you have a different, maybe one day it's backpacks and one day it's wipes and one day it's something else. And you have an approach where you're able to help. I know one of our local TV stations has an event called Pack the Bus, and they will take a school bus and park in the parking lot, and people can go by and drop off supplies in that bus. And the goal is to pack to fill the
Oh, fill the
bus,
bus. Yeah.
but maybe offer your parking lot to something
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be anything grandioso. It can be a small, something that you do to contribute. Maybe you have a back to school fun day for families, or
Yeah.
maybe you do that after school starts, right? Maybe you have it to where uh, the 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 first week that school started back, that you have a fun event planned that weekend, where you have, an hour of bowling and pizza and some other activities that are going on, and you get your kids registered for any type of school program that you may have. So
Yeah.
there's those opportunities that are available too.
Yeah, and I
And
think oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say I think that's even the perfect time to start reaching out to teachers and letting them know that your center's there and that you guys are able to do things for them. Whether it's I know some programs will do I can't even think of the name, I'm gonna go blank, but when you sell things like when there's a fundraiser,
uh-huh.
they're selling candy bars or something. Hey, if you hit this many sales, you get, an hour free of bowling with a soda or something. So yeah, I think it's a good time to reach
Or
out.
yeah, or even do a bowl-a-thon, a fundraiser there at the bowl. There's those opportunities that a lot of times people forget about. And with a bowl-a-thon, I mean, you get to have fun and raise money at the same time. So those are opportunities too. But, I want to go back just a little bit. And I did mention something, but, to be able to also partner with the families in the community to encourage children when school starts back to strive for good grades. I know in the virtual marketing manager program that Cubic AMF has, we have a program that encourages kids to strive to make good grades in school. And if you do make a good grade, you come into the bowling center and show your report card, and you get uh, rewarded for that there at the
Okay.
bowl.
Yeah,
So it
that's a good idea.
introduces bowling to students, and it also brings them into your bowling center. And we know when a student comes into your bowling center, the family comes with them. So it's
Yeah.
introducing entire families to your center.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, there was a pizza chain that would do if you read a certain amount of books or you did a reading thing, you would get a coupon for a free personal pizza. And I remember
Yep.
that was like one of the most exciting things about going back to school. I was like, oh, they're gonna do the pizza reading program. So yeah, that'll get kids excited, I think. And like you said, it brings in them to use their coupon or whatever it might be, and it also gonna bring in their family.
Yeah, and it's funny you talk about that because my kids also did the reading program, and got the personal pizza, so that was a big hit with us. And recently we did a program at several centers that I've worked with, where we partnered with the libraries, and it was a Mad About Reading program, and you can kind of imagine that that had something to do with Mad Game Bowling. So it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun, and it brought in a lot of enthusiasm to the bowling center. But along those same lines, you touched on it earlier about teachers and helping teachers. I will say that it's amazing to me the generosity of those that are in that profession, because many of them reach into their own pockets,
Yeah.
to provide things for the classroom that they feel would be helpful for the students. And there's opportunities for the centers to partner with those teachers. And again, we have a program where we're partnering with the teachers, and helping them to encourage students to stay on track, to stay in school and not, have a lot of absences and things along those lines. At the same time, helping that teacher to be able to do that without having to pull money out of their own pocket to do that. So when you go into a school with the mindset that you are there to help, your goal is to get in with the school and help the students to be better students, to help the teachers to be able to provide a better experience for their students and raise their educational level, without having to reach into their own pocket. Then you are welcomed by those administrators with open arms.
Yeah.
And you start to develop that reputation in the community that you are genuinely there, as a support mechanism to help students and their education. And that opens up a lot of opportunities too, right?
Yeah.
So even providing, once you get in the schools, have have you ever had a weekly program for your teachers where they can go in after school and be with other teachers, and they can blow off steam. Basically, they can
Yeah.
talk about their challenges and how they overcome them, and things along those lines. And sometimes I've even seen it where a weekly program, they put money in the prize fund, and at the end they either use that as supplies for their school, or they do like a party for
Okay.
themselves, kind of as a reward. So there's all sorts of things that you can do, but at the end of the day, back to school is a great opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's a great opportunity, and this is the perfect time. Some schools start in end of July, some August, some September. So yeah, now is the perfect time to start planning that, because as we know, everything time flies. We're talking back to school. The next thing we're talking about leagues. Then we're talking about Halloween, Christmas. It all comes up quick. So if you have the time to get started now, start planning that.
Yeah, for sure. And back to school also uh, brings up, that a lot of the kids will be in after school care because, school is in session. So don't forget your after school programs that are available, or even creating an after school program in your own center.
Yeah.
I used to call it a student happy hour. It's awesome. It can be a great opportunity, and certainly the venue is safe and fun, and parents love things like that.
Yeah.
So think outside the box, and there's just so many opportunities, and now's the time to be looking at that, because let me tell you, it is right around the corner.
Yes, I agree.
Well, great. Well, listeners, we appreciate you tuning into us today. We would love to hear your feedback. If ever you have any feedback for us, we'd love for you to leave us comments. And for now, we hope that you are getting at least one or two little nuggets every time that you tune into us, and you are able to nurture those and to grow your business beyond your wildest dreams. Until next time, folks, Orly and I say, thanks for joining us. See you next time.